And you touched on motivation at the end there, so let maybe sit there for a minute. Having built teams out and had to motivate and set vision, what's your take? What's your best advice for motivating members of the team as a leader?
You have to, apart from the storytelling that I talked about, where you may be talking to a
Sure.
group at the same time, you have to spend time with people one on one. I spend a lot of time already this week. I've had one dinner and I have another one where I literally had a one on one dinner with one of the people who had been going through a tough time. Just because, one, he's very busy, two, they had some issues in the team, and three, he's starting to think about his future. He just needed to sit down with me and tell me what was on his mind and let it come out. He wasn't necessarily looking for any solutions. He just needed to talk. And you have to spend time with people all the time to motivate them. If you're not spending time with them, if they don't have an opportunity to tell you what's on their minds, everyone has worries, everyone has paranoias, everyone has fears. If you don't sit down and talk to them and let them talk about those concerns that they have and listen to them, just by listening to them and them seeing your reaction, the concern goes away.
So all of these things demand some depth from a leadership perspective, and it can't just simply be hammering people over the head all the time and saying, you got to work 18 hours a day and I'm going to compensate you well, and that's all, because some other investment bank can turn up and offer them that great compensation plus a little more, and then they're gone. So what you do between compensation cycles matters. And so the ability to start integrating into that deal culture some understanding of what does it take to make Pete tick. Pete's got several children. Does he need a little flexibility in between deals so that he can go to the soccer game or go to whatever? Understanding a little bit of that. It's amazing what a difference small interventions like that can make in someone's life and someone's perception of the company in which they work and how much that company actually cares about them. These are not big, massive things, right? At the end of the day, it's about, do I feel like I've got a good, respectful relationship? And does this person get that I need a little bit of this every now and then? Because to your point, it's a marathon, not a sprint.
Yeah, again, great take, isn't it? And that personal connection and getting to know the team and really understanding what makes them tick is so important. And in the demanding industry, in the fast paced industry of investment banking and the way it's rewarded, as we've already talked about, does seem to get lost a little. Have you seen any other great recognition practices with the many members and corporates you're working with?
I would point to a couple of things. I will draw on some of the work that we do. We offer a suite of professional development that often leaders will use as recognition. So you see a high potential person on your team, you offer them the opportunity to get some professional development that's going to help accelerate their career. It means a little bit of extra work on their part, but it also means very clearly, Pete, I'm investing in you because I see you as the next generation of this firm. This suite of professional development that we offer at Versify is a great example of, I'm a leader. I can send you on whatever, it may be a 4 week course or it may be a 1 year one-on-one coaching opportunity. And that's a real sense of like, I know you're the future and this is how I'm going to demonstrate that to you. So that would be one thing. Um, a second thing that I see, and I've seen it in a few investment banks, not universal, is that what are we doing between the transactions? So, how much ability to have some downtime or some flex between transactions are we giving to people, or are we requiring them to be in the office 18 to 20 hours a day, even between the deals, because FaceTime is that important? I would argue that FaceTime is not that important. So, what can we do between those deals to ensure that people can sort of level out the intensity of the year? And then the final thing I would say, and this is less on the topic of recognition and more on the topic of how do you ensure that you are hearing and seeing other people, hearing other voices. Some law firms have done an interesting thing, which is and also deal driven, right? So not dissimilar to the investment banking culture. What they have done is they've started to literally measure who gets the work, who has the work been given out to. And so each year, a practice leader will get a pie chart that says, well, you've given this much work to Joe and to John and to Tom. and this much work to Sally and to et cetera. And then they'll do it again in the second year. And what they're trying to do is show that leader, you need to shift, if you're giving all your work over here, let's help you shift and distribute that more evenly so that we're developing all of our people. And it's a helpful visual for people to see how they're divvying up work and how they can shift that over time.
Thanks for sharing. I think recognition gets a bit of a tough rap in the investment banking industry, how teams are recognized. So having built successful teams and building a new one now, how do you recognize success within your teams?
Simply put, proactiveness and going above and beyond. That's where I really see a difference, because everyone's got their roles. But when people start to move out of that role and are proactive around a deal and just say, for example, I know we're talking about this, but I think this client could also in this, without you prompting them, that for me is a game changer in that person's progress and development in their career. That's a key point for me.
And how do you recognize those people? Do you actively take a role in mentoring them? Is it just kind word in the ear? Is it something else?
I think you've got to be transparent about what is going to drive the recognition in terms of their career path and moving forward. It's about moving forward in your career through promotion. It's also about bonus and what you're going to get paid at year end. Those are key recognition factors, but also checking in and making sure that people are feeling fulfilled in what they're doing, enjoying what they're doing, and if not, how it could be better.
Makes sense.